Hey, it's Rusty. I'm glad you answered. There's something important I want to share with you. Is this an okay time?
Sure.
We've been friends a long time, and I don't want that to change, so I want you to know before I say anything else that I am your friend. I also want you to know that I'm not better than you. I mess up like everyone else. I also hope you don't think I'm judging you because I am not.
If this is about God, you know how I feel. I don't believe in him.
I know this may sound weird at first, but it's the most important truth in the world. It is about God. If there is a God, and I believe there is, and he loves us, and I believe he does, that means there is something way bigger than us out there.
I've heard this before.
Now, I have to admit that I don't have all the answers, but I do want to ask you a couple of questions. Is that cool?
Okay, go ahead and ask. I'm listening.
Have you read the Bible carefully and thought about its message for yourself? Or have you simply chose to believe what you have heard others saying about it? Is it really God you reject, or could it be something else?
Yeah, I've read enough of the Bible to decide that I don't believe anything it says.
Good, at least you've read some of it. I appreciate that. But if you don't believe in God, what do you believe in? I mean, anyone could be against anything, but what are you for? I am not a Buddhist or a Muslim, but I don't call myself an A Buddhist or an A Muslim. I choose to define myself not merely by what I reject, but by what I believe. If you choose not to follow Christ, then for whom or what are you living for?
I haven't thought about it that way. I guess I'm living for my family, friends, and myself. I guess you're going to tell me that that's a bad thing. I guess I believe that there is nothing outside of what we see and experience. No God, nothing.
Now, family and friends, that's all good. I'm not going to tell you it's all bad, and I get it, okay, but let me ask you, we all know that someday everyone dies. On what basis do you have any hope beyond the grave?
I believe we get one shot at life, and then it's over. My hope is that there's no hell or judgment.
Can you explain to me why you don't believe in the God of the Bible?
I can't believe you've asked me to consider that the earth was created in 6 literal days, that women come from a man's rib, a burning bush spoke, all animal species, millions of them, rode on one boat, Jesus walked on water unaided, fish and bread magically multiplied to feed the hungry, and that a fiery lake of eternal torment awaits unbelievers while there is life after death in a city that is 1,500 miles cubed, with mansions and food for Christians only. If you believe these stories, then you are the one with the problem, not me. It is unreasonable to believe these myths when they contradict science. If you can't see that, if you can't separate truth from fantasy, it doesn't matter how many people accept the delusions inflicted by holy men. A widely held lie is still a lie.
I agree with you. A lie is a lie. Someone's has to be right, which means that somebody else has to be wrong. Hey, let's be fair though. Science, art, philosophy, they raise questions that we can't fully understand, but that doesn't change what we know is true in those fields. Questions about God can actually lead to a strong and well-informed faith. So questions are good. A number of well-written books, Lee Strobel's Case for Christ comes to mind, offer thoughtful answers to common questions about God in the Bible. That's why I like to tell people that Christians don't believe in spite of the evidence, we believe because of the evidence.
Well, I think Christianity is nonsense and harmful. Do you see why I do not respect the biblical message? It's an insulting bag of nonsense. You have every right to torment yourself with such insanity, but leave me out of it. I have better things to do with my life.
Have you considered the possibility that if you're angry toward God, it could be evidence that he actually exists? It doesn't make sense to be angry with a non-existent being. Did you know that the Bible, and the writers of the Bible, express similar emotions over and over again, like in Psalms and Job? And yet the Bible's final word is always one of hope, not despair. Maybe your problem's not with God. Maybe it's with the church. Have you ever been hurt by the church?
Everything about the church hurts me. I don't trust a single religious leader. Have you watched the news? Do you know what they're doing to children?
If you distrust religious leaders, I totally understand. I actually distrust some myself. I can't deny that there has been a lot of harm that has been done in the name of religion, and even the most sincere believers are flawed. But just because some doctors make mistakes, it's foolish to decide that you'll never seek the help of a doctor again. If you dismiss all Christians as hypocrites, you're not being fair to those who are truly genuine. Give them a chance, and you might find some authentic believers who could help you with your spiritual journey. What else is the alternative? Believing in yourself? If you merely trust your own intellect, abilities, and good deeds, you ultimately will be disappointed and lost because you are flawed too.
That's true, but I don't do harm to children like some religious leaders have.
Nobody can deny that people have done horrific things in the name of Christ, but why should Christianity take the blame when it's the people who are doing the opposite of what Jesus taught? Did Jesus favor taking advantage of children or torturing heretics? Of course not. In fact, Jesus taught the exact opposite. He said to love your enemies, to reach out to those whom society considers untouchable, and to lay down your life for others. If people really did live like Jesus, there would be no violence.
I'm just sick and frustrated with religion.
Me too. You might be surprised how frustrated Jesus felt, though, with the religious leaders of his day, and how much compassion he had to those who are hurting and poor. His teachings are challenging, and his miracles are amazing. His death is an unparalleled demonstration of his sacrificial love, and his resurrection is a beacon of hope. Jesus modeled for us what God is like.
Listen to me. If Christianity were simply untrue, I would not be too concerned. Santa is untrue, but it is a harmless myth that most people outgrow. But Christianity, besides being false, is also evil. It amazes me that you claim to love God, who is a hateful and cruel being. And Jesus preached the same old judgment, vengeance and death, wrath and distress, hell and torture for all nonconformists. You want me to accept Jesus? But I think I'll pick my own friends, thank you.
I respect your decision. But as your friend, I want you to know that I am always available to you if you have questions, so feel free to ask them anytime. I also want to ask your permission to continue this conversation later. In the meantime, if it is okay with you, I have a book or two I would like to give you. Would you be willing to accept these books as a gift and read them and let me know what you think?
Sure, I'll read them, and I'll tell you what I think.
Cool. I look forward to it.
Me too.
Cool. Thanks. Thanks for talking.
All right, bye.
Bye.